Hey everyone, I'm Masood, and in this tutorial we're going to see how to design a cool subscribe button in After Effects. First of all, I want to design YouTube's logo. So using the rectangle tool, we make a rectangle. After adjusting the rectangle, click on Fill and make sure you're using linear gradient. Now I want to look exactly at YouTube's logo and use the colors of the logo in my rectangle. With the help of eyedropper, I make my gradient color exactly like YouTube's logo. Now I change the rotation of the gradient to upside down. We don't need YouTube's logo, so I delete this layer. Select Shape Layer and using Align tool in the right side menu, align the rectangle. Now I want to make the rectangle a little more round, something around 23-22. Next, I want to draw the play button on YouTube's logo using the pen tool. So select Shape Layer and then draw a triangle. Hit V on your keyboard to adjust the triangle perfectly if it's not adjusted perfectly at the first place. Now I want to change the fill color of triangle to white, so I select solid color instead of linear and make it white. Next step, I want to create the shadow on play button, so once again I select Shape Layer and use the pen tool. Now hit V on your keyboard to adjust the triangle perfectly. Here I want to change the fill color of the new triangle to soft gray so it looks like a shadow. When I zoomed out, I saw that the play button is not positioned perfectly at the center and that the rectangle is too wide, so I corrected them. I changed the layer's name to YouTube logo. Hit T on your keyboard to bring on opacity. Take opacity all the way down to 0. Click on stopwatch. Go about half second further on timeline and then make the opacity 100%. Now you can see we have a fade-in look. After 1 second, I want to change YouTube logo to a subscribe button. So go to Shape 2 under YouTube logo layer and under Transform find opacity and click on stopwatch. Then go to Shape 1, find opacity and click on stopwatch there too. Then go about 7 to 10 frames further and make both opacities 0. Now you can see the play button fades out. Then under Contents, Rectangle 1, transform Rectangle 1, find Scale, bring Timeline to the frame, the play button fades out, then click on Stopwatch, move Timeline to about half a second later, and make the width of the scale big enough to make it look like a subscribe button. To make the movement of rectangle smooth, I use Graph Editor. Make sure it's on Speed Graph and play with Graph to make the movement smoother. Now you can see the movement is much better. But still, as you can see, our rectangle is too round. So I go to Rectangle Path, move the timeline to where the widening starts, click on Stopwatch, then move the timeline to where the widening is done and lessen the roundness about 5. Now our transition from YouTube logo to subscribe button is done. After this, we need to add subscribe text to our button. I align the text to be at the center of our button. To create a fade-in look to our text, we should select text layer, move timeline to where the widening starts, bring on opacity by hitting T on keyboard and make opacity 0. Click on Stopwatch, then move timeline to where the widening is done and make the opacity 100%. Next, I add the PNG icon of mouse pointer to the composition and make it very small, the size of the pointer of macOS. Hit P on your keyboard to bring on position and bring the pointer down and out of the frame. Move timeline to where the widening starts again and click on Stopwatch. Actually, maybe it's better to move the starting keyframe to where the widening is done. Now move timeline to half a second further and bring the pointer up by changing its position. To make the movement smoother, we should use the Speed Graph once again. Now I believe the movement is smooth. To show that we're clicking on button, we need to scale the button up and down. So select the layer, hit S to bring on scale, click on Stopwatch, move timeline to a little further and scale down. But as we scale the button down, the position of it changes too. So we need to change the position too. So hit Shift P on your keyboard, click on stopwatch, move timeline to where the scaling down finishes, and change the position. We need to do the same thing for scaling up. Now it seems like we're clicking on subscribe button. Now I add a mouse click sound effect I downloaded and add it to the composition. Next step, we need to change the color of the button to gray, and we need to do it gradually. So move timeline to when the mouse clicks. Go to click under YouTube's logo layer, content rectangle 1, gradient fill 1, and click on stopwatch. Now move timeline to when the scaling up is done. We don't want the gradient anymore, so make the location 100% and change the color to a soft gray. Now we need to change the color of our text. So click on animate and select fill color RGB. Now we should set keyframes and do the same things. I also changed the position of button a little bit, but it's not necessary. Next and the last step, I wanna add bell icon to our composition. I want to create a fading look for our bell icon, so hit T on your keyboard and bring on opacity, set opacity to 0, click on stopwatch, go a little further on timeline and set opacity to 100. Next, we need to click on this bell icon, so we need to change the position of our pointer. Once again, to make the movement smoother, we should use speed graph. Now to show that we're clicking on the bell icon, I want to change the rotation. So hit R on your keyboard to bring on rotation. Move timeline to when the bell icon is clicked. Click on stopwatch, move timeline a little further and change the rotation. Repeat this step again and again and we have a bell that is ringing. Duplicate the mouse click sound effects layer and use it for clicking on bell icon. First, I want to fade out the pointer, so I bring on opacity and after half a second I make it 0. And finally, I want to fade out the button and the bell icon, and that's it. Just remember, you should export this file under RGB plus alpha channel. Thanks everyone for watching this video and I see you in the next one. Come on!